In this segment, Stephanie Miller is joined by a guest who used to work for Donald Trump and shares what the man was like behind closed doors. Here's Stephanie.
I know some smart rich people. In fact, I think maybe all the rich people I know are smart. But there's a lot of stupid rich people. And New York's stupidest rich people gathered in one room today and proved how stupid they are with reactions like this.
Caracas, Venezuela has almost no crime. Next year, I'm going to suggest that the Economic Club hold its meeting in Caracas because we'll be safer than we are in our country if they win. We'll be far safer.
Now just think about how stupid you have to be to say that. Then think about how stupid you have to be to clap for that.
My boyfriend?
Not your boyfriend, my mother's boyfriend.
Carol Burnett can suck it.
Well,
I'll let her know that.
I am Carol Burnett's pimp. I am technically her Lawrence O'Donnell pimp. I used her to get him for Boston Sexy Liberal. God, details. Okay.
and he still didn't go to Boston Sexy Liberal because of an
He
assassination.
was there,
Trump.
but he didn't go on panel.
Right.
Yes, because it was the day of the incident. By the way, AB on Twitter says, if your God saved Donald Trump from a shooter, but not the children of Appalachia High School, then you're worshiping the wrong God.
I agree.
Thank you. Oh, looky here, real quick. Veterans for Responsible Leadership. Trump is barely winning a historically deep Republican voting bloc. Veterans are fleeing MAGA because they know Trump hates real service. The data was also collected pre-Trump's team using Arlington as a political prop with military families.
Yeah, it's
That's the military community. Good. Everybody waking up.
Yep.
Julie in Seattle says the great Kreskin of political politics, Alan Lichtman, who has rightly predicted 9 out of the last 10 contests based on his key system, says Kamala will win. Don't get happy. Bob Seska rule.
Don't get happy.
No. Let's get happy, though, because guess who's here? As I told him, no one has ever come on this show and come back again, but Stephen Beschloss,
Yeah.
the political journalist, writer of not just America, America,
Right.
is here. Good morning, sir.
I'm doubling down on America.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
As well you should, sir. You know, I was just going to say, you obviously talked about Arlington, as we all have, as I was just mentioning. My mom, I just interred my mom there with my dad in July. So, you know, it's particularly personal to a lot of us. It's America's sacred ground. It's not, you know, anyone in particular's, or it's certainly not Donald Trump's. So, you know, where did you say this to? But you were talking about blah, blah, blah. Hold please. You just said, it's just your whole theme this week was about him being a bully, and there's no better way to sum it up. And that includes what happened in Arlington, right?
Yeah, I mean, he desecrated the cemetery, he desecrated the memories of all those fallen soldiers and all the families that have, that have sacrificed also for their country. And he goes in there for a photo op. And, you know, it's not only the photo op, it's what came after that. Once confronted with what was going on, the pushing aside of the employee, then the abuse of the employee verbally, you know, all the things that go on, that he's then calling the people in Arlington bad people. I mean, he always finds a way to blame the victims. He always finds a way to take his own violations and illegalities and desecrations and try to turn it around as if it's something wrong with the people who question him.
And every Trump story, Stephen, isn't it always worse? First of all, he makes it worse. 10 different ways to Sunday, but it's always more despicable than, I mean, this was planned. He set this up to make it look like it was some public ceremony that Kamala Harris didn't attend. They did this in advance and used these poor families as props to film this commercial, which is illegal, and then shoved an Arlington employee, and then, lied about it, and then blamed, I don't know, the Gold Star families, the Biden administration, on and on. I mean, it's you always think, oh, he can't get more despicable, and then he does.
He always finds a way, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, that's maybe his particular gift, to show that what bottom you think exists really doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In this case, you know, the going there in the first case, what makes it so appalling is that he went there to pretend that he cares about dead soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you said Donald Trump is an ugly bully. He turns every attack into attempt to blame his victim. Every school kid knows they don't want a guy like that on their playground. Most Americans don't want bullies in power either. You said Trump and his operatives need to be held accountable for breaking the law, attacking, defaming an Arlington cemetery employee who was doing her job. These bullies who rely on the threat of violence and retaliation must be overwhelmingly defeated. And your piece, this week, Stephen, we need real leaders, not bullies. I keep saying it. I really feel like November is when we finally punch the bully in the nose. It's that scene in every movie where America finally stands up. And I think we're there. Do you?
It's a story we like to tell, isn't it? And it's a story that we want to come true. And I think this time, we can't get too happy, but I think we are on the verge of that. And, I think part of the issue about the beloved Joe Biden was he going to be able to prosecute the case? Was he going to find a way to define the opposition, to define Trump in a way that was going to have the impact that was necessary for people to actually see who he really is? And I think Kamala, not only, the character of her, the joyfulness, the humanness, the warmth, all of those things that are such a stark contrast to the soullessness and the ugliness and the cruelty of Trump, I think she's also going to be able to demonstrate her ability to prosecute the case against him. I'm looking forward to, as I'm sure you are, to the debate in a few days.
Oh my God, Stephen, we just played this. Have you heard the incomprehensible word salad answer about childcare?
Incredible.
I feel like Kamala Harris Tuesday will be the one in an much more elegant way than I could, Stephen, but say, what the are you talking about? That makes no damn sense at all. It's just nobody does that, right? Nobody just says, you don't have any idea what you're talking about, what a tariff is, what a deficit is that you blew through the roof. What
childcare is and why people actually need it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And the J.D. Vance plan is, I don't know, get your aunts or grandmothers to do it.
Yeah.
They're just on every subject. On this horrific latest school shooting, Trump's like, oh, we got to get over it. J.D. Vance is like, oh, well, fact of life. You retweeted Morgan Freeman said, how many more kids have to die? And you just said this has to stop. Republicans who are prepared to let the killing go on must be defeated for the White House, the Senate, and the House. It's the only way, as Kamala Harris said, we can say with one voice, it does not have to be this way.
Yeah, how profound the cynicism has to be of these people to just say it's facts of life, get over it. What world are they living in where it's okay to have all of this, death and destruction for what? So that they can get money from the gun lobbies, so that they can cozy up to the Second Amendment freaks who are devoted to death at all with complete abandon. It just doesn't make sense, and obviously the large majority of Americans don't want it.